Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to All Around Town Radio.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go.
All right, there we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome. So Wednesday with the band, we're having a few technical issues with the Book of Face today. They were refusing to let us go live. Now they're letting us go live. Thank goodness it wasn't because of something we said yesterday. That's all I got to say about that. Welcome to the program today, guys. We've got some great folks joining us today here live from the All Around Town radio studios in beautiful downtown Springboro, Ohio. Like we said, it's Wednesday with the band. Without any further, let me welcome the fellas from White Knuckle Weekend. How you doing?
Hey, Scott. Happening, Scott.
What's going on? Billy Sutherland, Brian, let me get it right. Lehiff.
You got it, sir.
I say it wrong all the time on the show. He's sporting the All Around Town hat. I love that. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. Sorry about the little difficulty there we had, but it is what it is with this social media stuff. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. We're going to get right into this thing because you are one of my favorite rock bands locally here. You guys kill it every time I see you, packing the house. And let's talk about White Knuckle Weekend. And, tell me a little bit about it, how it got formed, how you guys all came together, because in your own right, you got some great players in this band.
I'm going to let Brian start with this. I'll kind of give you the Cliff's Notes version. I've known Billy and Stephanie for probably 10 years or so. They were out seeing my band one night, and I was introduced to them at Cat's Lounge. A couple years later, my band had broken up. Billy calls me and says, "Hey, man, I'm in a band now. We're having a hard time finding the right guitar player. Your name came up. You want to jam?" So I did, and that became the first incarnation of Full Frontal. I left Full Frontal a short time later. I was in a short-lived 80s band called Double Dare. That band broke up, but the drummer and I wanted to kind of keep going. And Billy had left Full Frontal, so I told Jim, our drummer, time, I said, I know a singer. So I called Billy up, and then as far as finding a bass player, we had a hard time finding one, so I went old school and put out a Craigslist ad.
I love it.
Band looking for bass player. And the first guy that responded was our very own Chad Robinson. So perfect. Chad came and jammed with us, and everything just kind of felt right. And then about 2.5 years ago, Jim, our original drummer, decided to retire from live music, and Mike Severs was recommended to Billy. So he came and auditioned and was just the right fit. And then this past year, we added Billy's wife, Stephanie, who a lot of you guys know also sings with Crying Out Loud. As a second vocalist, adds killer harmonies, allows us to do Journey and AC/DC and a lot of that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, Mike's on here right now. He's on the YouTube channel. So I'll say hi to Mike. I'll say hi to Stephanie. Stephanie's watching. Your entire band's out there, looks like. Hi, Liz. Glenn checking in on YouTube. The Wanderers, thank you. And Michael, thank you for being here. So as we roll through this, guys, if you've got a question for White Knuckle Weekend, throw it in the comments. Jay Grant, how you doing? Thanks for being here. He's also on YouTube. So, guys, with that said, these members of the band, I mean, do you practice a lot, or is it just the musicianship is so tight that you just kind of throw it out there and do it?
It's really funny you ask that. So we do practice when it's time for new music. We don't really practice a whole lot between gigs. When we get new ideas, we bring them to the studio here. This is in my basement. You can see our logo in the back there, and Crying Out Loud's logo. They practice down here too. And these guys come very well prepared, man. And it's like, 1 time through, 2 times through, check it, put it in the can, let's go. So it's pretty good. These guys are awfully good.
Well, it's good, man. It's good. Hi, Chad. Thanks for being here. And happy birthday belated
Chad.
To you, Chad. Birthday boy there. Had a birthday, what, a week ago or so, or a few days ago?
Big 5-0. 5-0.
Yeah. Well, we won't tell anybody that, will we? All right. So
we got 4 in the 50 club, by the way. 4 in the 50 club, and this guy just turned 40 not too long ago, so he's the baby.
Brian, just a puppy.
Yeah.
You guys rock it. Like I said, every time I've ever seen you, I mean, the energy in the crowd is one thing I enjoy. And I know, Billy, you were on a show with us the other day where we were talking about stage presence and all that. And you mentioned, and that's one thing I admire about you guys is you get down there and work that audience. You're down there with the mic. You do what I say, go mobile. You go mobile into the crowd, and it's really a hit. And some people like that and some people don't. Obviously, you learn that from the show you watch, but I will tell you, I'm a fan of it because I think everybody really gets into you and the personal touch your band has.
I get to everybody in the crowd. I don't care who you are. I'm with the microphone. I'm putting it in your face. You're singing, whether you like it or not. It's just part of the atmosphere. We love it.
So White Knuckle Weekend, how did you name this thing that way? What's that got to do with it?
So this band, we did it different. So anyone out there that's in a band knows that probably even harder than starting a band is naming a band.
Yes.
I've been in projects that have broken up because people couldn't agree on a band name. So what we decided to do was Billy and myself put out Billy did on Facebook. We put out a Facebook post saying, "Hey, we need a band name. Would anyone like to, submit a name? Well, and we'll vote on one."
And we got hundreds.
We got hundreds of suggestions from people. Just and the lady who gave us a recommendation, I remember she was like, "I've been waiting all my life for someone to ask me for a band name." And so we went through the four of us at the time went through and picked out maybe 10 or so that we liked.
Yeah.
And then as a band, we voted on it. So our fans actually came up with our band name.
It means nothing at all. It really doesn't.
It just sounds good.
I think it's a great name. I mean, I do. It's a catchy name. People remember it. And it's one of those names that you think, man, this says like we're going out and having a hell of a good weekend this weekend. Yeah, we're driving fast cars and doing fun rock and roll music. And let's segue into that a little bit. What is White Knuckle Weekend for everybody that's watching this, never seen you play? What do you consider your musical style?
Yeah, so we're 70s, 80s, and 90s rock and pop.
It's
probably the best
and we had in some newer stuff.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters and stuff like that. But
we're working on Paramore and NXS and the Beatles, believe it or not, and something rocked out by them. And so we'll kind of touch on every decade.
So you classify it just basically as a party type band? Would you lump it into those terms? I mean, that's what I would consider.
That's exactly it. When we're
without the costume.
Yeah,
right. Without the wigs. I got it.
When we're trying to come up with song ideas.
No offense, Tori.
We try to look at it as how if we do this song, how's the crowd going to react? If it's something slower, we're not in the mood to get people slow dancing or anything out on the dance floor. So we try to keep it upbeat, high energy, everything from like the Rolling Stones to the Foo Fighters, but keep it all upbeat, keep it energetic, allow Billy to work the crowd and, us to kind of jump around on stage and have fun.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. And I will say that anytime I come out to a show with White Knuckle Weekend, there is no room for a slow song. I mean, you might throw a power ballad in from the 80s or something someday, which people will like. But for the most part, if you threw a slow song in there, your crowd's going to probably throw beer bottles at you or something. They're going to be like, no, we're here to party with White Knuckle Weekend.
Yeah.
So I will move that into, you guys have day jobs. I mean, you're not full-time musicians.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
What makes you want to do this? How'd you get into this business?
So I'm going to start if it's okay.
Yeah.
So I Stephanie and I, when we really weren't into music at all, and I used to go see Shadow Life way back in the day. I had a buddy who was singing in that, Justin Jones, and we used to go out and watch them. And then all of a sudden he started pulling me up, and I was doing a couple of songs a show, So, and one night after about 6-8 months of this, I said, "Hey man, can I get a set?" He said, "No man, get your own band." So I'm like, okay. So at that point, I kind of reeled back and was talking to a couple people, and next thing you know, Full Frontal was put together, and it was 8 shows a month, and it was just on all the time. After about 3 years of that, I finally had to back down. But Stephanie, kind of the same way. Stephanie was not in a band till crying out loud about 4 years ago. Joined us about a year ago. And she's just fantastic, with her vocals and harmonies. So, and Brian's been doing this since he was a kid. Chad was in a band when he was 18, 19. Heck, he gave me a list today of about 10 bands he was in, including Aces High. And then
wow.
Mike Sievers,
okay.
Yeah, Mike Sievers was in Full Throttle and Animal Grace and Alter Ego, and so he's been around, but he was gone for 10 years until I reached out to him.
Well, I'm glad Mike's back. Mike's a great player, and he's a fun guy to be around as well. I got to say hi to a couple of people real quick, guys. Kara, thank you. Kevin McCoy, the Kevin McCoy Band, thank you for being here. Kevin rocks, man. He's a great player. Michael says it's high energy party, drinking beer, music. Thank you for that, Michael, for the absolute nailed it. He did. That's exactly what I think. Hi, Ed Sawicki. Thank you for being here. And Kira, thank you for being in the house today. We appreciate it. She says, going to look them up. I like that. That's what we're here for, is to make sure you guys follow these people. And yes, Ed says he loves hearing the history. I don't know if you guys know Ed Sawicki. He's an awesome live music photographer. He takes some amazing pictures. And thank you, Ed, for being with us and always following the show. Quentin Fife, thank you for being here as well, from the Latter Group, L-A-T-T-E-R.
Great band. Yep.
Yes. So we're talking about this, and you guys kind of mentioned bands and projects you've been in. Billy, you gave your history. Brian, you've played in, you said, since you were young.
Yeah, I come from a family of musicians, so especially my mom's side of the family. So music, I've been playing instruments in one way or another since I was 9 or so. My mom's side of the family, my aunt's a singer-songwriter, plays guitar. My grandpa played harmonica and accordion. My mom's uncle played guitar. So all of our family reunions, get-togethers, everyone just brought instruments and sat around and played. So from a young age, I was just so intrigued by it. Started playing saxophone, and then my aunt gave me a guitar. So I've always had the bug. And about 15 years ago, my neighbor at the time across the street, a guy by the name of Shane Kemplin, who's now the new singer in Plush, the Stone Temple Pilots tribute band in town. Shane had been in bands for a long time and was putting together a new one. And he's like, "Hey man, you want to get in on the band scene? Let me, want to start this band with me." And that was 15 years ago. I had just recently moved back to Dayton. Went down here for college, and that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. And I've been going ever since.
Yeah,
haven't stopped, one band to the next.
Well, so you've got a great background in all this, and it just seems to be, when you're on stage, you guys have a cohesion. The band just melds together, and it seems like you're having a great time up there. I mean, it looks like when you guys are on stage, you're laughing at each other, you're having fun. If somebody misses a note, they're like, let's just rock this thing out.
Yeah.
And it's just cool. It's fun to see a band that's having that much fun and energy in the room. What brings that to you?
I think I've always been kind of a jokester, my whole life. And I think one of the funniest things ever is, I'll miss a word or miss a phrase, and I'll just turn to the guys and, "Hey, what are you supposed to do?" Right? I mean, I got to learn 50 songs in a night. So, I'm going to screw up every once in a while.
And it happens.
Yeah. And it's funny. I just mentioned Shane. I was at lunch with him last week, and, I joked to him. I said, this is the band I had looked for a decade. It's just the most fun I've had playing live music. There's no drama. There's no egos.
No, there really is.
To touch on your topic from yesterday,
Right, yeah.
There's no egos. There's no big heads. So
see, that is so cool to hear. I think that's awesome to hear. When you said this is the band I've been looking for 10 years, that says so much to me, because so many musicians are landlocked into a band. They're just like going through the motions, man. They're just like, "Oh, I'm so sick of playing the same music with these same people," and all that. You hear them say it even, and it's cool to see you guys. Really, you're a family. It looks like.
That's it. I mean, it really is. There's, people can throw out song suggestions at practice, and if someone else isn't feeling it, no one gets their feelings hurt. There's no, side conversations. We all just, love each other, and we just have it. I think it translates on stage. We have a good time, and that's why we're doing it. We don't, like you said, we all have day jobs, we have families. We don't need to do this for the money. We're just doing it because we enjoy it.
Right.
Amen. And while everybody's saying and making comments that you're going to look you up, let's throw it up there real quick. You can follow White Knuckle Weekend on Facebook at White Knuckle Weekend. So give them a like and share it with your music loving friends. Get them to go follow their page, and we'll talk about where they're playing at the end of the show today and what's coming up for them. But I'm going to segue into something else too. As we're talking about music and you guys playing so much, you've been playing for years. Throw out some of your favorite musical influences, people that have influenced you as you've played throughout the years that make you want to do this rock and roll thing.
All right. So what's kind of funny is we've got an entire wall up here of big posters and little posters in my studio, my basement. And you look around the room and you got Queen and Billy Idol and Aerosmith and a lot of the rockin' bands. And, but for me, honestly, because I didn't get into this until well into my 40s, I'm looking at the local bands. I mean, I go out all the time, man, and Mad Hatter, Five Story Plunge, and Truck, and Velvet Crush, and I look at the individual artists too, like Paul Cullen. We've just gotten to know him a little bit.
Shane DeMoss, he's great. Shane
DeMoss is, to me, I don't know. He's incredible. I love going out and watching his passion and how strong he is on the mic, and those are kind of my influences. And we've made a lot of friends here in Dayton in the music arena. It's meant a lot. It's really cool.
Now, you guys play also, and I'm going to throw a weird one in on you that I didn't really mention to you, but I'm going to throw this one in. You guys play every year this cul-de-sac party.
Yeah.
I've seen videos from this, and I know the neighborhood because it's in my old stomping grounds. I used to work and live in Bellbrook in that area, and you're out there and you're playing this neighborhood party. What's that about?
Man, I tell you what, we decided, we've got a lot of friends up and down the street that like to hear us. So we thought, well, what the heck? Let's just go ahead and close the street down. We'll bring in the taco trucks and we'll try to invite as many from the neighborhood as we can. We put it on the page for the neighborhood. Everybody knows what's going to happen. We've called the cops. There's no sound ordinance. It's great. We did miss it this past year. Unfortunately, we got pretty busy toward the end of the year, so we weren't able to do it. But it will come back again this year, guaranteed.
Well, it looked fun to me, and I will. I'll see if I can make the next one. That looks good.
Too. It's a good time.
I'll invade the neighborhood up there, and
I'll let you know way ahead of time.
That'd be good. So, other things, guys, I want to talk about too. We're talking about your influences and some of those things, but let's talk for a minute about when you really got the bug for music. Does anybody remember the first song they ever played live in front of an audience?
That's got to be you, Brian.
God, very first song I ever played.
Billy's saying he's too old to remember, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, this is going back like 15. I believe it was.
Well, for me, it was New Girl Now. I think that was the first time.
Oh, mine was Bark at the Moon. With my first band down here with Shane. That was the very first show we played. Was my first kind of real gig, and we opened the show with Bark at the Moon by Ozzy.
Wow.
What'd you say yours was, Billy?
I think New Girl Now was the first song that I ever sung on stage in front of a live audience. It's either that or Lit, one of the two.
Yeah.
I used to, but,
you had your go-to songs. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my
All right.
song.
So tell the audience out there, if they come to a White Knuckle Weekend show, they've never been there. By the way, be ready to have your hair parted by this band, guys, because it's going to be good. But you guys tell them some of the songs they're going to hear, because you're a cover band. You're playing covers.
Yeah.
We're not talking originals today or any of that. You guys play covers. So tell them some of the stuff they're going to hear.
Gosh, I mean, you're going to hear everything from Van Halen. You're going to hear, Rolling Stones.
Aerosmith, Tom Petty. And then we start jumping into the 80s where we get into the hair stuff.
Yeah, Journey, AC/DC.
The Cult, Billy Idol.
Yep.
I love me some Billy Idol.
Yeah, Green Day, Sublime.
Night Ranger.
Yep.
NXS, Paramore, Bowling for Soup. You're kind of all over the place there.
Yeah. All right. What Cult song are you doing?
Which one are we doing?
Oh, we're doing Love Removal.
I caught you. Love.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that tune. Yeah, that's why I asked. And I've never heard you do it, so I'd like to hear you do it.
Well, that's usually later in the night. We tend to bring the harder stuff toward the end, but.
Well, that's old people go home early sometimes, Billy. You know how that is.
Well, when next show you're at, we'll do it. Make sure you do it while you're there.
Yeah, please, before my pulse rate gets too low and I got to go home. But you guys bring the crowd an exciting evening, and the dance floor is always full. What do you feel like when you're on that stage and that you play some places that you're back together, you play some places you got room to run around and move and show off? What do you feel when you look out at that audience that comes to see you and you see them so happy and having a good time? And what's that do for you guys? There's got to be a good adrenaline thing.
Yeah, I mean that's why we do it.
Energy brings energy. You know, it's amazing to see. And I know a lot of people are coming out just to see the band, just to see music, right? Live music. That's what I said yesterday during your show. But I just want to be, good enough that they're not going to get up and leave, right? But also good enough that they're going to actually like sing along with me and they're, dance and move and tap their feet. And we like having a party.
Yeah, and when you look out and you see people dancing and having a good time, we don't know what's going on in everyone's lives. Maybe they had a rough day at work, something's going on. But for that couple hours, if we can help them forget about what's going on, have a good time, or we had a wedding come, the entire wedding party. As soon as their reception was done, they show up at Kings Point, bride's still in her gown, everything. And hopefully we gave them some good memories, of their wedding night partying with a local band, drinking beer and stuff like that.
It's awesome. I'm going to get to some comments here. Michael says, not just great musicians, but you're the nicest group of people. That says a lot as well. Thank you, Michael, for that. Bob Klein says, it's great to see guys not only play together, but genuinely like each other. Says that's when it's good. And isn't that the truth, Bob? I mean, Bob was on our show also with the talking about egos and things. And that's one thing I don't see in this band. You guys, you're professionals. I will say that. And sometimes people misinterpret professionalism and trying to be good at what you do as an ego. You guys work that room. You get out after on the breaks, you're talking to people. I mean, I can't count how many times I've been there and Billy makes a beeline over and says hi, on the break or something like that. So that's cool. I think it's great. And it makes us feel good as people consuming your music that you guys really are human beings up there. You're just having fun. And that's what I like about it for sure.
Appreciate that.
Tell me some other things here. Let's go a little bit off the book a little here. Let's talk about some of the funniest stuff that might have ever happened at a White Knuckle weekend show. Let's try to keep us on the air with it if there's anything that way. But tell me something that you'll always remember at a show. Or I mean, the bride thing's great. It's always great when that happens. But what else?
We were up at Froggy's up in Indian Lake one night, and it was raining. It was a nice night, but it was raining, so they pulled us inside. And the place was just a madhouse. There was 200 or 300 people in there, and some drunk kids were in the front, right? And they're literally this far from me as I'm singing in the microphone. And well, this guy wasn't feeling too good. Well, next thing you know, he's puking all over me, all over the monitor, and
oh man,
what are you doing, man? So directing him outside. Next thing you know, he's escorted off the property. But that was pretty
special rock and roll memories there. Kara, we're going to get to that in just a minute. That's one of our last little things to talk about today is where they're playing and when and how you can catch them here. So we'll get to that. Stick with us. Sweet Sister Mercy, thanks for your shameless plug playing trios on. I got to give a shout out to my good buddy Mickey Evans, who plays that incredible lead guitar on our theme song. We're having a few issues with that theme song. When we play it, it gets a little tinny sounding on the feed sometimes. So I'm working on getting that cleaned up so we can put it a little better for you guys here. But they did an incredible job. And Sweet Sister Mercy played a bunch around town too, you guys. You'd love them if you've never seen them. They're right down your alley. I mean, they're playing the kind of music you guys play, and they're good at it as well. Yep. So Scotty Long wants to know if you play any Seven Dust.
No, we don't go that heavy. Yeah.
Not that heavy? All right.
We're raw for us, yeah.
And Ladder says, good fellas there. Thank you. Hi, Carrie. Thank you for joining us. And Mickey says he's heard great things about you from Sweet Sister Mercy. Thank you, Mickey, for that comment. Hey, and Mickey, hope Brandy's doing well. His wife, Brandy, who's in Strangelove, just had vocal surgery this week, and we want to give her a shout out and hope everything goes well. It sounds like her surgery went as good as it could, but it's going to be off for a while. Not going to be singing for a while. She's got powerhouse vocals, man. Powerhouse. Hello, Heather. Heather from Heather's has joined us.
Hey, Heather.
We have venue royalty in the house today. Thank you, Heather, for joining us.
Heather's
so, yeah, guys, let's talk about upcoming shows here. We've talked about your social media, how they can find you, but also tell them where you're going to be playing next.
Yeah, we've had a nice couple months here break. I did have surgery about a month ago on my knee. A lot of bouncing around on stage, getting too old for this stuff. So I've hopefully got myself to a point where we'll be ready to go by the end of February. We start in O'Connor's out in Springfield. We end up at Beaver Creek Wings after that. Kings Point, Beaver Creek Moose. We're going to hit Heathers and Burroughs.
Mr. Burroughs. We'll Dublin Pub for St. Patrick's Day. We play that every year.
Yep, we're going to be there St. Patty's Day night inside of the church. The Barrel, we're trying. Actually, we don't have anything at the Barrel yet. So we got to get with Missy and Dawn on that. By the way, shameless plug. And then we got some festivals coming up through the summer. We've already kind of locked down, and we've got some private parties. We do like going up to the lakes. We're doing Indian Lake. We're doing St. Mary's, Duckfoots, and the Moose and Salina. We're anywhere that they're having us. So
is that a good party up at the lake? I mean, it looks like it.
Yeah. If you ever want to make the journey up to Duckfoot, it's come up there sometime. We play there twice a year.
It's some of the craziest, funnest times we've ever had. And if you haven't played there, if you're a band, call them up, get there. It's a blast.
All right, let me see who else is checking in. I think just Kara there. Thank you, Kara, saying hi to Heather. All right, so we're going to wrap this thing up today. We're almost to the 30-minute mark, but I want to give you a chance to talk just about the inner workings of your band and give a shout out to anybody who's helped you along the way, or any venue owners who tend to be good to you. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, I mean, we know Heather's on. Heather's always been awesome to us.
Heather and Marcy.
Yeah,
we appreciate them always. Chad from Wings, and I hate, obviously we've mentioned a whole bunch of places. We want to thank everybody for continuing to have us every year. And I want to go back to, from my roots, and Scott Thiessen and those guys at Full Frontal really kind of they gave me the chance to get up on stage and do what I do. And it's kind of gotten me to this point now. So it's been a fun ride.
Billy, you said you were doing, I'll go ahead and I'll ask this question after you're done.
Well, no, I was going to say, it's my wife and I have been trying to get into the same band for a while. We were going to do like side projects, acoustic. Anyway, it just worked out perfectly. These guys said, "Hey, let's bring her in here." So that's what we did. So.
All right. So you said you would get up on stage and do a song, and then you just kind of like sit in or whatever. Once you got your own gig, that first night with like Full Frontal and all, were you nervous as hell?
Oh, we were at the Star Brewery.
Yeah, Star City Brewery.
Star City Brewery down in Miamisburg. We had 28 songs prepared, and it's it was kind of tight through there, but they packed it in. And in fact, one of the guys come up and said, that wasn't half bad. I think they said.
So, wasn't half bad. All right.
Better than I expected.
Better than I expected. Yeah. So
thanks.
I don't know. So
that's funny. That is so funny. And I always tell new bands when they're nervous about going out, you want to break the ice with a new band, look them in the eye right before they take the stage and say, "Don't suck." And they'll all, they're all like, "Ugh." But it's so much fun to see you guys play. I love the energy you guys put out to a crowd. And from the first song to the last song, it never lets up. And that's the part. If you're watching today, guys, or you're watching after we're live, throw some comments in if you've seen them. If you haven't seen them, ask them some questions. They're going to share this on their page, and they'll be able to see the comments as well. Let me see what Banks has to say here. He says he's finally here live. Just wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
And he's giving a big shout out. And James. You guys know James.
Yeah.
He's like guy extraordinaire, man. He does great things in the world. He is the best. And good to have you with us there, James. I appreciate you stopping in today. So, guys, anything else to tell the folks out there? We've told the social media. We've told them where you're playing. They can find all those events on your Facebook page, right?
Yes, we've got the schedule for the year already up, and as we add to it, we'll expand it. So get out and see us.
We just want to thank everyone that's kind of helped this band continue to grow and grow and grow. And when we first started playing, it was just mainly some bars, and now we're city festivals and private parties, and it's kind of just grown into this really cool thing. And it's all because of, all the people that come out and see us, put in a good word for us.
We've always said this is your band. This isn't our band.
Yeah.
We do this for everybody, honestly. So we really appreciate, just anybody who comes out to see us.
And we also appreciate the support from you, Scott.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm a big fan, fellas. I'm a big White Knuckle Weekend fan, and I will say that's what it's all about. What you just said makes me so happy to hear. And you guys are one of those bands that you get it. You do. You get it. You get why you're doing it. You're not up there, because you think you're going to be on a big tour bus heading across the country playing arenas. You're just there to entertain a crowd and make a night spot, some money for the night, and get everybody partying and having fun. And if everybody walks out with that, we're good.
Yeah, that's one of my best friends, the late great Brian Miller, once told me about people with egos. He said, at the end of the day, you're playing someone else's music in Dayton, Ohio. Right. So
I think we heard that a few times on the show yesterday. We had several of those comments as well. You're not to knock it, you're a cover band in Dayton, Ohio or Cincinnati, Ohio, man.
Yeah, you're not even playing your own music.
Yeah, exactly. And if you did play your own music, everybody go get a beer. That's what happens.
Exactly. That's why we don't write songs.
Yeah. That happens at some of the best concerts you go to. Oh, here's our new album. And they're all like, yeah, we're going to the bar.
Yeah, I don't hear that one right now.
It's great. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for joining me today. Stick with me here as we go out, and I'll talk to you off the air. But thank you so much. White Knuckle Weekend, guys, on Facebook. Follow them, give them a like. And you're going to want to see this band. This is one of the bands that I rank up there as a great time. So go see them. Check them out. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Scott.
Man. See you guys.
All right. We'll be back with you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, here on Thursday with Who's Playing Out, brought to you by Froggies in Monroe, Ohio. If you want to check out the best bands and venues, check us out on Friday at 5 o'clock. We hope to see you then. I'm sorry, Thursday at 5 o'clock. Let me rephrase that. Hope to see you then, guys. Until then, get out and support live local music and the bands and venues that bring it to you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to All Around Town Radio.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man on there into the music scene. Show lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So all around town radio show is where I go for the latest band info. So all around town radio show for the music that troubles my soul. It's the All Around